Assalamu alaikum. Once again you've tuned into Bite-Size Madrassa. This is our last video on the fundamentals of faith, and today's topic is on life after death.
Today we speak about belief in the last day and destiny. Belief in the last day, this means that it's part of faith to believe that everyone will die.
And then will be resurrected, meaning brought back to life. Not only that, what we must also believe are certain description and events of life after death.
So let's speak about the journey from beginning to end. Death is something which every soul will taste, which is ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and executed by the angel Azrael alayhi salam.
Even though nowadays the discussion of death is seen as a morbid topic, something we don't want to talk about, but in reality we understand that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, those who are pleased to meet Allah, Allah is pleased to meet them.
And those who dislike to meet Allah, Allah dislikes to meet them.
So while we live, we should wish for a good ending, and at the time of death, we should have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will forgive us and show us mercy. Then it's the grave. So the basic understanding of the grave is that it is an abode where the soul will taste the lower punishment before the greater, or the lower reward before the greater. As soon as a person is buried, the soul is returned back to the body and then interrogated by angels named Munkar and Nakir. They will ask you a number of questions. Who is your Lord? What was your religion? And what did you used to say about this man, which is the final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And if a person responds correctly, the grave is expanded and illuminated, and the person is placed in a state of peace and tranquility. But if the person responds incorrectly, then the grave contracts and crushes the person inside, remaining in the grave in punishment until Allah raises him once again on the Day of Judgment. Meaning it is necessary to believe that the grave is a place of reward for the people of faith and obedience,
torment for those of disbelief and disobedience. Once time is spent in the grave, mankind is resurrected from the grave at the blowing of the horn, and this is known as the barzakh, the intermediate realm.
Here the whole of mankind shall wait some say 50,000 years for the Day of Judgment, which will commence only by the intercession of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
On the Day of Judgment, there are numerous events that take place that we must all believe in, such as
the scales. This is where a person's deeds are weighed and the mind is incapable of imagining its form and reality.
The questioning, where our books of good deeds and the book of bad deeds will be shown to us.
The Hawd of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is a pool of water that is gifted to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever drinks from it will never experience thirst again. The bridge. This is a bridge which is thinner than a hair and sharper than a sword. And all believers will attempt to cross this bridge. Their speed and agility will depend on their rank with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And finally, entry into hell or heaven. The first person to enter into heaven will be the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, followed by the rest of the prophets, and then the best of their followers. What we must also believe is that hell and heaven both exist and have already been created. The believers shall remain in heaven forever, and the disbelievers in hell forever.
Another fundamental point that we must believe in is something called destiny. It is best not to dwell into this subject too much, but to cut it short, what we say is, to believe in destiny is to basically believe that after the choice that one makes, everything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether we perceive it to be good or bad, or benefit and harm. It all comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's all on destiny. Jazakallah khairan. That's the last video done on the fundamentals of faith. Revise them, rehearse them,
learn them. This is Saf, and you're watching Bite-Size Madrassa. Keep tuned. Assalamu alaikum.